family. Today is Tuesday, and you are now tuned into Carter's Table Talks. Hey family, and welcome back to another episode of Carter's Table Talks. Today's episode is specifically for my aspiring entrepreneurs. Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? If so, please tune in with us because I want to ensure that you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Today's guest is none other than Antoine Wade, who happens to be a trademark attorney, an entrepreneur, and a sports agent. So you know what, guys? Let's just go ahead and hop into this episode right now so we can ensure that your business is in good standing. Have a good one. Well, hello and welcome to Carter's Table Talks. How are you today?
I'm good, and yourself? Thanks for having me.
I am great. I'm so excited to have you on the show today because, you know, I've been peeping your Instagram, following what you've been doing, and it's been actually really, really inspiring to see you educate others along the way. But I just really wanted my audience to understand the importance of trademarking and how it has served you in your brand, because I know that not only are you an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, right? I saw the belts.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I know that you're an entrepreneur, you're a sports agent, but you also are an attorney and you specialize in trademarking. So you are, to me, the complete package, and I know that people can benefit from hearing what it is that you have to say about the importance of trademarking today. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Mr. Wade, let the people know who you are. I kind of gave your credentials and your background, but, you know, give them a little more about who you are as a person, the man behind your brand.
Okay, most definitely. So my name is Antoine Wade. I'm a licensed attorney here in the District of Columbia. I've been practicing law since 2018, November 2018, specializing in soft intellectual property, which we consider to be trademark law, copyright law. And then there's also something that's called patent law, which I don't really have the experience in because you have to have a science background for that. Mm-hmm. And since I've been licensed, I've been helping multiple entrepreneurs, multiple emerging brands, from fashion to makeup companies, people in the music industry, helping them with protecting their brands and their assets through copyright law, trademark law, and most importantly, contract law.
Okay. So what was your path to this purpose? Because how did you go from, like, you know, sports agent to trademarking and being an entrepreneur? Like, what was your path to purpose?
Okay, so I was really big on sports. Growing up in the DC area, I've been playing sports since I was 10 years old, specifically football. And, you know, growing up playing youth football, they always tell you to have a backup plan. You know, football may not work out. Mm-hmm. And so from the age of 13, I want to say, I already had it made up in my mind that if football didn't work out for me, I was going to be a sports agent.
Okay.
And I didn't know what that really entailed. But
you wanted to be involved in sports in any way.
Yeah, I still wanted that connection with sports. And I just knew, based on what I saw on TV, like, this would be a really cool job. I can represent some of the best athletes in the industry. And so from 13 years old, I knew that's what I wanted to be, just in case professional football didn't work out. And it wasn't until my 11th grade year, I went to DeMatha Catholic High School. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm not, because I'm from Michigan, but I'm learning.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So DeMatha Catholic High School is one of the most premier athletic programs in the country. At the time, my junior year, we was ranked number 5 in the country in football. And I'm sitting in my government class, my 11th grade year, all of my teammates, I got a lot of my teammates taking this class, and they're just like goofing off.
Right.
But these are guys that have promising careers in football. Mm-hmm. Their potential levels are high in football, and they're just goofing off in class. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't have that major Division I offer. Mm-hmm. I got to really take school serious. I can't be goofing off like these guys. Mm-hmm. And so something told me just to really look deeper into that plan B that sat in with me at the age of 13. So I started researching.
Did your mother like drill that into you too? To have
my mother did. My mother was a stickler for school and grades. You know, even if I had brought a C home, like, I was on punishment. Like, that was like a major no-no in my household. So I started to look deeper into what it took to become a sports agent. And what I found was that most of the premier agents, they had law degrees.
Okay.
Now, a law degree isn't required to become a sports agent. Mm-hmm. But what I saw from the guys who were representing the, you know, guys like Terrell Owens and Sean Taylor, like these are the main, Chad Ochocinco, like these are the main guys within football, and he has a law degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, if I want to represent that caliber of players,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go get my law degree, and that's what pushed me to go into law school.
Okay.
And I just became a licensed NBA agent in the beginning of 2020. I plan on taking the NFL exam next year.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So that's the sports agent story.
Right. Okay.
Then there's the law thing, the trademark thing, actually, that, you know, people want to know about. So I started my own clothing line.
Okay.
Which you mentioned earlier. I started my own clothing line.
I saw them belts. I don't see any female belts, but I saw the belts. They're really
right.
nice.
No, women could wear them too. Women could wear them too. Like my mom be rocking them. She rock the belts too.
Okay.
But so I started this brand, and my best friend created this dope logo for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking a trademark clinic class at the time. And I was learning the ins and outs of trademarking. And the trademark clinic class is like a pro bono class where we offer free legal services to those who don't have enough money to afford an actual attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started going through this trademark clinic class, and I'm learning the ins and outs of trademark law. And at the time, I had my own business, so I'm learning like, hey, you can actually protect this logo. And it just seemed like the perfect time, and it went hand in hand. And so I know at the time that I did my trademark, I'm like, well, I have a lot of friends who are going into entrepreneurship. Like
definitely.
a lot of people.
It's not necessarily a trend, but it's something that's definitely prominent within our age group.
Right. Everyone wants to be a boss, but a lot of people don't really know the ins and outs of what it means to really be a boss. You got to dot your I's and cross all of your T's. Mm-hmm. And I know that a lot of business owners, we get caught up in just running like the main things that we're good at. You know, we don't want to worry about like the paperwork and, you know, taxes and stuff like that. So that's
me. But then I find myself in situations now where you're like, when you want to go like higher and to elevate your brand, you're like, well, you still need to do X, Y, and Z. Like you can't move forward without doing X, Y, and Z. So
exactly.
I understand it. I definitely get it.
And so we delegate all of these duties for like marketing and, you know, ads and legal work. And so I'm like, well, I know my friends, if you go into business, we want to make money, but you also go into business because you want longevity. Mm-hmm. And if you want longevity and you plan on making a lot of money and you plan on going, you know, further than your local community,
right?
You plan on going international, like you see this business being a big thing, mm-hmm. then you need to protect your intellectual property. And that's how I got into trademark law and copyrights and contracts.
Okay, so but what exactly is trademarking?
Trademarking is simply a way of protecting a logo. So if you have a logo for your business, or if you have a slogan for your business, or just a word that you want rights to, you would protect that by way of trademark. So for example, the Nike swoosh sign.
Okay.
That's a logo of Nike's. If you look it up in the trademark system, you will see that it's actually protected under trademark law.
Okay, would the process of trademarking a logo be different from trademarking like a business name? Or is it like the same type of thing?
It's the same process. I would say, so there's two different ways that you could trademark. Mm-hmm. There's a way to trademark an actual design, and then there's a way to trademark like a word.
Okay.
So the process is different, but it's just little nuances that are different, but majority of the application is the same.
Okay, but as you have to evolve, though, I'm sorry to cut you off because I just keep thinking now. But as businesses evolve, and you decide that maybe you want to change your logo or change your name or your brand, is it like an amendment to what you already got, or do you have to like completely start the process over?
So if you want to file an amendment, and this is really under the discretion of the attorney that's reviewing your application. So they have trademark examiners that review every application, every amendment, every type of correspondence that's sent to the trademark office. They have an attorney that reviews it. And so if the attorney finds that there's a substantial change to your application or to the logo, then you will have to actually file an amendment, which is like $100 fee.
Okay.
But if it's not a substantial change, then they'll just allow you to make an amendment for free.
Okay, so that's good to know. So as a business owner, if you decide to evolve, you can still evolve in your brand. You don't have to completely go through the entire process.
Right.
Okay.
So let's say
add things.
Say that again.
So then would you have like an account with this entity and you can continue to add things? Is that how it goes?
Sure. So let's say, for example, you start off a business, you're selling t-shirts.
Okay.
And let's say 2 years down the line, you say, hey, I want to venture into, I don't know, counseling or consulting services. You will have to go into the system and actually add the services or products that you want to add to your business. You will have to actually file that amendment with your application, and you'll be good to go. So there's no like major cost. You can add different services and products to your initial trademark application, as long as you're not changing a substantial change to the actual logo.
Okay, I got you. So you mentioned t-shirts, like branding t-shirts. So, I mean, I feel like people just do it all the time. Like it's just something that we print and we do that all the time. So you actually kind of have to have permission to make t-shirts? Or you should, or you should have like a logo that you patent if you think it's gonna be something that's gonna elevate.
Well, you don't really need permission. You can like, I can start a t-shirt brand tomorrow, make up a logo and just start selling it. So now we get a little bit complicated, we get really deeper into the complexities of trademark law.
Right.
So if I were to start a trademark, if I was to start a t-shirt brand with a logo that wasn't trademarked and I just start selling it here in the state of Maryland or in DC,
right,
I would be considered to have something that we call common law rights.
Okay.
Now, common law rights is just statewide rights. And then there's, the trademark level, when you file an application with the Trademark and Patent Office, we have something that's called federal rights. And we know that federal rights trump state rights all day.
Right.
So if you have a t-shirt brand and you're selling it in DC and you don't trademark it, but then someone else comes along and they like what you have and they decide to file a trademark for it federally with the trademark office, it will officially have rights, federal rights to your trademark and to your company. And now you can still,
nothing you can do about it?
There's not, I mean, you could try to present an argument and say, hey, I started this first, this is the date, the specific date when I actually start selling these t-shirts. But you really want to make sure you understand the seriousness of like trademark law.
I was gonna say, can you give us an example of where you've actually seen this happen? Because I know you talk about some cases on your page. So go ahead and let me know the best story.
So Burger King, that's the big case. Burger King is a case where there was a small town Burger King business in, I think, Wisconsin. And the Burger King that we all know today, they wasn't the original Burger King. They actually stole the idea from this small company in Wisconsin called Burger King.
That sounds like the McDonald's story, but kind of different.
Similar, but this one is trademark based.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Burger King that we know today capitalized on that opportunity. Like, hey, they're only selling these burgers and their food within the state of Wisconsin. We can actually take this thing and turn it into an international brand, which is what they did by filing the federal trademark application. So the original Burger King that started in Wisconsin, they can only do business within the state of Wisconsin. Now, if they decided to do, let's say if they wanted to open up a franchise in Minnesota, they wouldn't be able to do it because they don't have the federal trademark rights to it. So they can still do their business in Wisconsin, but they're only restricted to that geographical area. Okay,
so this brings me to another question now. So when we file for a trademark, you file with the state and you can file with federal? So there's like two different processes.
You can file with the state or you can file federally. I wouldn't recommend doing the state.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you recommend that we just do federally?
Yes, federally all day, because if you just do the state, someone can, steal your idea and submit a trademark for it federally. Now you can argue it and say, hey, I submitted a state trademark in the state of Maryland or in Virginia, wherever you are, and you can use that as evidence to show that you started it first. But I don't really know the chances of you actually winning, because we want you to capitalize and use and exercise your legal rights. So if someone decides to exercise their federal rights, why should they not be able to exercise their federal rights? Why would you snatch those rights away from them? So it's very important to know, be educated about, trademarking and opening up businesses, because this stuff is real.
I think that like a lot of entrepreneurs, like even like I said, including myself, when you go in, you don't, like you said, you don't think about these things. You think about, paying the money, getting the LLC, like making a logo, making it look nice, and like getting your brand out there. You don't think about like the background where you're like, okay, trademarking. So what would be the difference, if there is one, with trademarking and copywriting, and then the patent? Like, what's the difference in the three?
So with trademarks, it's just like we discussed earlier, it's just like your logos, your slogans, and maybe a word. So just do it with Nike is a slogan that's trademark. What McDonald's is.
Oh, then I think you mentioned that Cardi B trademark. I can't say it, like occur or something like that.
Oh yeah, occur, yeah. So her trademark was denied because they considered it to be something that was so common.
Really?
Yeah, very common. She made it popular, but apparently Wendy Williams and I think a couple of people who have used it before her.
Okay.
But Cardi B popularized it, and the trademark office, because they know what's going on within the culture. Like, even though they may seem like they don't know, they know what's going on in the culture, and they will reference people like Wendy Williams and stuff like that in these office actions that they send out, telling you why your application was rejected. It's the same thing that happened with LeBron James and Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, everyone knows what Taco Tuesday is. Like, we eat tacos on Tuesday. Like, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
And LeBron James actually tried to trademark the phrase, and his application, of course, was rejected. But what his legal team said, they said the reasoning behind them filing the application was to ensure that they couldn't be sued for using Taco Tuesday. Because it's so a common term, LeBron James can actually sell, Taco Tuesday on a t-shirt or any type of merchandise.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because I know that I was gonna ask that because I know Cardi is still selling merchandise with it on there. So even if it's already like, something that they deem multiple people use, you can still make a coin.
Exactly, because no one can have rights to it.
So how do you? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and finish telling me the difference between copywriting and patent.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and so with copyrights, you're dealing with more so artistic works. So books, movies, music, art. For example, with books, if you write a book, if you do just one single work, that can't be copyrighted. But a series of books can be. So for example, Goosebumps, that's a series of books. They can actually copyright that because it's a series. Harry Potter, that's a series of books. They can actually copyright that. The famous Mona Lisa painting, that's actually copyrighted, So those things.
So many of those paintings, but I guess you get the original copies of it.
Yeah, the original painting is owned by somebody. And so that is copyright. Copyright is artwork, literary work. Trademarks is more so, the logo, words, slogans. You can actually trademark colors as well.
Really?
Yeah, people didn't know that. So Christian Louis Vuitton actually trademarked the color red. But it's a real complex case. I don't really want to get into that, but you can trademark a color. So Tiffany's blue. Women love Tiffany's.
Right.
When you see that color blue, if you see that blue box, it's Tiffany's.
Right.
So they actually trademark that. And then patent is more so the science of intellectual property. So that's computer software, that's Apple, Microsoft, everything that is, how our phones are put together in our MacBooks and our laptops. Those things involve patent law, which I don't really have the experience with. If there's anyone who's watching this that are interested in doing patent law, they need to know that they have to have a background in science. And that means a bachelor's in like biology or physics or something like that. And then on top of that, you have to take a whole separate bar exam to become a licensed patent attorney. So you have the regular bar exam, and then you got to take the patent bar exam.
Wow. So it sounds like
on a whole.
Yeah, it's a whole nother level. So if you,
Right.
like you said, if you guys are watching, just know that those are some tips, and you probably got to find somebody else because he does not specialize in that, right?
Right. I wish I did, because the money paid, man. The money that patent lawyers get paid is up there.
Okay, and so just to almost like just close us out, for those who are watching who have businesses or are thinking about branding themselves, where can they actually go to see if, like, just to get a head start to see if what they're trying to brand is already taken? Is that a thing? Or can
Yes,
you actually-
most definitely. Most definitely. So there are different ways. So I would recommend, so if you're in the state of Maryland or Virginia or DC, go to that state's website so you can do Maryland business entity search.
I like how you say Maryland. Maryland people are so
Yeah, it's my accent, the accent that I have apparently. So you can do a Maryland business entity search and search the business that you would like to trademark. Now, if you find something in the system that has the name you want to trademark, that's not going to stop you from trademarking it, because again, filing for LLC is just state rights. But you want to be aware that if you're trying to create a brand around a particular name, you want to know that there's something registered within your state that already has the name. You can also use Google what you would like to trademark, see who's using it. You know, there will be Facebook pages that pop up, Instagram pages that pop up. See how active they are. If they're active.
Is it the same for hashtags too?
Hashtags too. You can actually trademark hashtags too.
Okay.
So if you find these things, you know, you have like searches that pop up with Instagram pages and Twitter pages, click on those links to see how active those businesses are, or whoever is using it. See how active they are. If they are active, go to the trademark website. This is the uspto.gov.
uspto.gov.
You can actually Google it. So if you Google TESS search, the link will pop up for you to actually do a general trademark search within the trademark system. And you can search the word or slogan that, or hashtag that you would like or you're interested in filing rights for.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And before I let you go, how have you been spending your quarantine time?
Just trying to stay busy, keep my stride. Money, you know, a lot of people, they don't really have the funds to afford attorneys because they have priorities. And so what I've been doing, I've been making sure that I can still educate and inform people on the importance of trademarking and copyright and actual like contract work. So just giving free game to all my entrepreneurs out there, just so that they can just so they can still have a way to learn and grow their businesses, even though they may be experiencing financial hardship.
I respect it. So if you are you do Virginia too, right?
I can do Virginia. So actually I can do anywhere in the country, because with corporate law, trademark law, it's transactional. So it doesn't really involve going to court. So I can do paperwork on behalf of anybody. If they live in Texas, California, like it don't even matter.
Well, there you have it, because I was going to just allot you to DC, Maryland, and Virginia. But if you are watching, and you are even watching from Michigan, which I know you are, and you need assistance with trademarking, please be sure to reach out to Mr. Wade. And again, I thank you. I thank you again for being a part of my show.
Thank you for having me. You too.